Why does losing weight feel harder than it should? You've probably tried everything: cutting carbs, skipping meals, working out twice a day, and yet the scale won't budge. Frustrating, right? Well, here's the truth. Weight loss isn't about suffering. The biggest problem? Most people are doing it all wrong. They either go too extreme, setting themselves up for failure, or they fall for myths that sound good but don't actually work. The good news? You don't have to make the same mistakes. Today, we're breaking down the do's and don'ts of weight loss, cutting through the nonsense, and giving you real, actionable tips that will actually get you results. Number 7. The scale is not everything. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to lose weight is becoming obsessed with the scale. They step on it every morning, hoping for a lower number, and when that doesn't happen, frustration kicks in. The truth is, the scale is one of the worst ways to track fat loss. Your weight can fluctuate throughout the day due to water retention, digestion, hormonal changes, and even muscle gain. If you only rely on the scale, you're setting yourself up for unnecessary stress and disappointment. Let's say you start lifting weights and eating better. You may be losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time, which means the number on the scale barely moves. Does that mean you're not making progress? Of course not. In fact, you're probably looking leaner, stronger, and healthier, but the scale won't show that. That's why you need better ways to track your progress. Instead of obsessing over your weight, use progress photos, body measurements, and how your clothes fit as indicators of success. Take a picture every 2 weeks with the same outfit and compare. You'll notice subtle changes that the scale completely ignores. Your waist might be smaller, your shoulders more defined, and your arms tighter, all without a drastic change in weight. Another issue with the scale is how easily it fluctuates. You could weigh 2 or 5 pounds more at night than in the morning due to food intake and water retention. If you ate a salty meal the night before, expect the number to spike. That doesn't mean you gain fat, it just means your body is holding extra water. The same thing happens after a hard workout, when your muscles retain water for recovery. A heavier scale reading doesn't mean you're getting fatter, it's just your body doing its job. If you're going to weigh yourself, do it once a week, at the same time in the morning, before eating or drinking anything. This will give you a more accurate picture of your progress. But even then, the scale should only be one tool in your arsenal, not the ultimate measure of success. What should you focus on instead? Pay attention to how you feel, how strong you are, and how much energy you have. Are you lifting heavier weights? Do you feel more confident? Are your clothes fitting better? These are signs that you're making progress, even if the scale isn't moving the way you expect. The worst thing you can do is let the scale dictate your mood. Many people step on it, see a higher number, and immediately feel discouraged. They start questioning their efforts, doubting their progress, and in some cases, they even give up altogether. That's the real danger of relying on the scale. It can mess with your motivation. Number 6, balanced eating and portion control. If you think losing weight is about eating nothing but salads and starving yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. The truth is, sustainable weight loss isn't about extreme dieting, it's about balance, portion control, and making smarter food choices. You don't need to cut out carbs, fats, or your favorite foods. You just need to learn how to eat them in the right amounts. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with weight loss is portion distortion. Most people have no idea what a proper portion looks like. Restaurants serve massive portions, and over time, we get used to eating way more than we actually need. Even healthy foods can cause weight gain if you eat too much of them. Yes, even avocado, peanut butter, or whole wheat pasta can sabotage your progress if you overconsume. The key is understanding how much your body actually needs. If you eat in a calorie deficit, meaning you consume fewer calories than you burn, you will lose weight. But if you overeat, even on so-called healthy foods, you won't see progress. This is why learning portion control is critical. A simple way to control portions is using the hand method. Your portion of protein, such as chicken, fish, eggs, or tofu, should be about the size of your palm. For carbs like rice, pasta, or potatoes, aim for a portion equivalent to the size of your fist. Healthy fats, including avocado, nuts, and olive oil, should be about the size of your thumb. When it comes to vegetables, you can be more generous. 2 handfuls should be your target, as they provide fiber and nutrients without excessive calories. Let's talk about the biggest mistake people make: starving themselves. Many think the fastest way to lose weight is to eat as little as possible. They drastically cut calories, skip meals, or go on extreme low-carb diets. And sure, this might work for a few days, but then what happens? You get tired, moody, and constantly hungry. Your metabolism slows down. You start craving junk food, and eventually, you binge eat everything in sight. Sound familiar? Number 5, strength training and exercise balance. If you think cardio is the only way to lose weight, you've been lied to. Sure, running on a treadmill for hours might burn some calories. But if you're not including strength training in your routine, you're making weight loss way harder than it needs to be. Lifting weights isn't just for bodybuilders. It's one of the most effective ways to burn fat, build lean muscle, and keep the weight off for good. Most people associate weight loss with eating less and moving more. But what they don't realize is that muscle plays a huge role in how many calories you burn throughout the day. The more muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate, meaning you burn more calories even when you're doing absolutely nothing. Sounds like a cheat code, right? The problem is, many people rely solely on cardio, thinking it's the best way to shed fat. But too much cardio without strength training can actually backfire. When you lose weight without resistance training, you don't just lose fat, you lose muscle too. And that means a slower metabolism, making it easier to regain weight later. Let's talk about what kind of strength training you should be doing. You don't need to spend hours in the gym or lift super heavy weights. Focus on compound movements, exercises that work multiple muscle groups at once. Squats, deadlifts, push-ups, rows, and shoulder presses are all great examples. These exercises burn more calories than isolation movements and help build overall strength. Now, here's where people mess up. Some go all in on lifting weights but completely ignore cardio. Others do endless hours of cardio but avoid weights because they're intimidated or don't know where to start. Both extremes will slow down progress. The trick is to find the right balance. If you're short on time, focus on strength training with short bursts of cardio. HIIT workouts, for example, combine both and can torch fat in under 30 minutes. And let's address another common mistake: overtraining. Some people think that working out harder and longer will get them faster results. But if you're pushing yourself too much without allowing your body to recover, you'll hit a plateau, feel constantly tired, and even risk injury. You're enjoying the video? Leave your comment, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button. Number 4, hydration and smart beverage choices. Most people obsess over what they eat, but completely overlook what they drink. And let's be honest, your drink choices can either help or completely sabotage your weight loss efforts. Think about it. You're carefully measuring portions, cutting back on junk food, and hitting the gym, but if you're gulping down sodas, sugary coffee drinks, or even fruit juices, you might as well be eating spoonfuls of sugar. Water is the unsung hero of weight loss. It has 0 calories, helps control hunger, and boosts metabolism. Drinking a glass of water before meals can make you feel fuller, reducing the chances of overeating. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that all drinks labeled as healthy are actually good for them. Take fruit juice, for example. Yes, it comes from fruit, but most commercial juices are packed with sugar and stripped of fiber. A single glass of orange juice can have as much sugar as a can of soda. The same goes for so-called sports drinks that are marketed as hydration boosters, but are loaded with artificial ingredients and unnecessary sugars. Instead of reaching for artificial sports drinks, which are usually full of sugar, you can make your own electrolyte drink. Just mix water with a pinch of sea salt, a squeeze of lemon, and a little bit of coconut water for natural potassium. This simple trick helps maintain hydration without unnecessary calories. If plain water bores you, there are plenty of ways to make it more interesting. Try adding fresh lemon, cucumber slices, or mint leaves for a refreshing twist. Herbal teas are another great option. They're flavorful, have 0 calories, and some varieties like green tea can even help with fat burning. Number 3, meal planning and sustainable habits. Most people fail at weight loss not because they lack motivation, but because they lack a plan. Let's be real, when you're hungry and have no healthy options available, what do? You grab whatever is quick and convenient, which usually means processed junk, fast food, or whatever snack is sitting in your pantry. And that's exactly why meal planning is a game changer. Meal planning removes the guesswork from eating. Instead of relying on willpower when you're already starving, you have pre-prepared, healthy options ready to go. Think about it. When your meals are set, you're far less likely to binge on chips, cookies, or order takeout. Planning ahead helps you stay in control of your portions, nutrients, and calories without feeling deprived. Now, some people think meal planning means eating the same bland chicken and broccoli every day. That's the biggest myth out there. A good plan includes variety, flavor, and foods you actually enjoy eating. If your diet feels like punishment, you're not going to stick with it, period. Snacking is another area where people slip up. It's not that snacking is bad, it's the wrong kind of snacks that cause problems. The key is to choose high-protein, fiber-rich options that keep you full longer. Examples: hard-boiled eggs, cottage cheese, protein bars with minimal sugar, and raw vegetables with hummus. These keep hunger in check and prevent energy crashes that lead to binge eating. Let's address the biggest mistake: relying on motivation alone. Motivation is great when it's there, but it fades. That's why habits matter more. Set reminders to meal prep, keep healthy snacks within reach, and make structured eating part of your routine. Once healthy choices become second nature, weight loss stops being a struggle and becomes a lifestyle. Number 2, set realistic goals and be patient. Let's be honest, most people fail at weight loss because they set ridiculous goals. They expect to lose 20 pounds in a month, get frustrated when the scale doesn't move fast enough, and then quit altogether. Sound familiar? Here's the truth: sustainable weight loss is a slow game. If you're expecting overnight results, you're setting yourself up for failure. The key is setting realistic and achievable goals. Instead of aiming to lose 10 pounds in a week, which is mostly water weight anyway, focus on 0.5 to 1 pound per week. This might not sound impressive, but over time, it leads to real, lasting progress. Imagine losing 4 pounds per month. That's 48 pounds in a year. The problem is, most people give up after a few weeks because they don't see dramatic changes. If they had just stuck with it, they'd be exactly where they wanted to be. Another big mistake: relying only on the scale. Weight fluctuates daily due to water retention, hormonal changes, and muscle gain. Instead of obsessing over numbers, track body measurements, progress photos, and how your clothes fit. These will give you a much clearer picture of your progress than the scale ever will. You can't expect results if you're on and off your diet every other week. The people who succeed aren't the ones who follow a perfect plan. They're the ones who stick with a good plan long term. Even if you slip up, the key is getting back on track immediately. One bad meal won't ruin your progress, but letting that bad meal turn into a bad week will. Number 1, enjoy the process without guilt. Let's get something straight: if your weight loss plan makes you miserable, you're doing it wrong. One of the biggest mistakes people make is treating their fitness journey like punishment. They cut out everything they love, eat boring meals, and force themselves through grueling workouts they hate. No wonder they give up after a few weeks. If you want lasting results, you have to enjoy the process. Food should not be your enemy. Yes, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, but that doesn't mean you have to eat nothing but chicken and broccoli. The key is balance. Want a burger? Have it, but fit it into your daily calorie intake. Craving chocolate? Eat a small piece instead of binging on an entire bar later. The worst thing you can do is label foods as good or bad, because that leads to guilt, and guilt leads to giving up. Instead, focus on portion control and making smart choices most of the time. Many people sabotage their progress because they think they have to be perfect all the time. They either avoid social gatherings altogether or go all in and overeat because they feel like they've already messed up. Neither approach is sustainable. One meal won't ruin your progress, just like one healthy meal won't magically make you fit. It's what you do consistently that matters. If you eat well 80% of the time, you have room to enjoy life without guilt. Stop obsessing over perfection. You're going to have days where you overeat. You're going to miss workouts. Life happens. The key is not letting those moments derail you. The people who succeed at weight loss aren't the ones who never mess up. They're the ones who get back on track immediately instead of letting one bad day turn into a bad week. You liked the video? Leave your comment, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.